doing there?
Doing great today, boss. How about yourself?
Hey, okay. Glad to hear it. So, Never's been telling me you've got some good news. You're a lucky winner. Tell us more, Never.
Yeah, we had a contest and James was around and before you know it, James floated to the top of the water like the cream that he is. And I was like, oh wow, guess what? James, I have a special thing to announce to you. You happen to be the winner. And just in case we missed it, Eastgate UK live show, we're live. Welcome to
We're
the
super
show.
live.
Silent Sookie, Eastgate, UK James, and JJ from New Orleans. Another James, we're just gonna call him JJ. Y'all know me, never riding your favorite rider or not. Silent Sookie on there. It's so hard to do the angles, like it's backwards, but
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wait, so you're? Oh no, you're not on that side. Okay, you're
Right,
right.
exactly. It's like
That's
everything is
fine.
backwards
Yeah.
and up is down is still down, thank God.
Mm,
That would be horrible. So
yeah.
everybody, we're here and we only got a couple of seconds to talk because we only got a couple of minutes. But yeah, James, this guy down here, he's the winner of the Dragon from Skateboards Electric.
And I think there's someone behind you, JJ.
My nephew's lurking. Nephew is lurking
As,
always.
as
Right.
long as
Yeah,
you know
he's
him.
that's my riding buddy. That's my riding buddy right
That
there.
was my
You know,
next
he's
question. You have got him on the skate then.
Yeah.
yeah. As an old man, you know that was I just got custody of my nephew who's now 12. He was 10 at the time, and it was like, how am I going to teach him to skate when I can't push? Legs don't work right, and then I saw the little one wheels, and I said, you know, they got to have skateboards like that, right? So I started Googling, and man, what a rabbit hole that was. Yeah. So
When would
yeah,
this have been? When did you notice the one wheels? When was you first seeing them?
it was about 2 years ago when I started getting
Okay.
back out on the beach a little bit. Is where I first saw a couple of them at the marina. Where I was keeping my boat, and I was like, man, you know, my legs don't work great. I need some way to scoot. Like, you know, it's only a few blocks from here to the beach, but that takes me a while. I got to stop 2 or 3 times on the way, and I need transportation, and I love
Yeah.
skateboards. You know, I mean, I could have gone other routes,
Well,
obviously, but I was a
yeah.
skater as a kid. I grew up in the North Georgia
Yeah.
hills and downhill, and
Uh,
like we made our own gloves with 2x4 blocks back in the
Wow.
oh
days and
wow. You
screws
almost
in them.
like
The
Yeah, we
Flintstone.
had
wow.
welding gloves and we had 2x4 blocks for slide gloves, is what we had.
Uh,
That was in,
That's
I think, 87 or so when I made my first pair. So, yeah.
wow. So you were getting at some serious speed down those hills. They went on for miles, did they?
Yeah, yeah, no idea what kind of speeds we were really going, but I
It
know
felt.
I know what 45 felt like precisely. I did clock
Yeah.
that next to a car on a straight slope one time, and I definitely hit speeds well over that. You know, when I was a kid, probably closer to 60. And so
Fair
this
play.
Eastgate has been a progression back to that. And that's what the Dragon did. Okay. I've been
Hmm.
riding some nice boards, good boards. Pro Zeus Pro and the Ace Deck Switch, the Nomad Switch. Great boards. Excellent. I have nothing to knock on them, right?
Good.
But the Dragon was like, it's dude, foot position changes at 35 miles an hour. Not slight shifts. I could
Hmm.
actually do a full foot position change at 35 and not catch a wobble. That was incredible.
Great. Yeah, yeah. Stability then. Confidence.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Confidence, stability. It was a dream ride. Absolutely. To be able to just to go straight off the road onto a small sidewalk, navigate that little path with the pedestrians, no problems, the little
Hmm.
walls, because you know how those things are never set up for us.
No.
It's not easy to get in and out of the pedestrian areas always.
Yeah.
I had no problems in and out
Oh,
and no problems at top speeds. That was incredible. I
yeah.
can't wait.
Good.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm really pumped, and I'm just like I'm chomping at the bit every time a truck pulls up in front of my house.
Right?
Like a kid at Christmas, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So two quick things, just for the backstory of everybody that's watching this. and why is it that you couldn't walk well, JJ?
Okay. All right, y'all. I don't know. Y'all are from the UK and other places, but here we have this show called The Price is Right. The Plinko game. They drop the little thing and it hits the metal rods and lands at the bottom. Well, that's how I won my prize. Was I played human Plinko and I fell 35 feet, hit three 18-inch steel pipes on the way down, and landed on my face on the deck of the crew boat.
Oh,
A
good
few
job.
feet in either direction, I would have either been impaled on some antenna or in the Mississippi and then swept under a barge, which you don't come back from, especially if you're
Yeah.
out cold.
Yeah.
So I was really lucky to land on that 6 foot wide space of on the crew boat.
Yeah.
You know, after all that, it literally I went ping boom,
Bong.
it shattered my back, broke ribs, then cracked my skull, then I landed on my face,
Oh
and I
man.
was paralyzed. I woke up in the hospital and
Incredible.
they told me to get ready for life in a wheelchair. And a couple of days later, I wiggled my big toe, and I got it in my head and in my heart. And I told him I wasn't going to leave until I walked out the door, and that's kind of how it went down. But that was years and years before I found my way to the skateboard. You know, I mean, back to it. I had tried push skating with my nephew a few times, trying to teach him how to ride bicycles and doing all the dad things, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm pushing my own limits, and then but when I got on the skateboard, it gave me that adrenaline rush that made me forget about the pain. It goes away. I joke with people, but it's really true. At 25, I forget about it all.
Yeah.
At 25 miles an hour, all the pain goes away.
There she is. Hey, Brandy.
And I'm like,
Hello.
hey,
Hi.
sorry,
Hi.
y'all.
Hi.
It's
How
the
are you?
missus.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Okay.
So yeah, it's been an incredible experience though. Um, what it brought back to me, I was when I got my first board, I was 223 pounds
Okay.
and could barely walk from my boat to my truck, which was 100 yards.
Wow. Wow.
Uh, and at this point, I can walk all the way around the block and do other things. I'm starting to look at hiking and really, you know,
Okay.
going all out with my life again. You know, something that I had lost hope of.
Yeah. I'm it brings tears to my eyes when I hear your story. I try not to think about it too deeply because, hey, what's up, Craig? I try not to think about it too deeply because, we've all been through horrible accidents. If you ride, you will fall. It just kind of goes with the territory. And speaking of Tori, I'm celebrating almost a year of knowing Tori, local skateboard, after her fall. Well, going through a windshield and dealing with traumatic brain injury and all that. So hopefully we can go live with her tomorrow. But the point that I wanted to say is we've all fallen. We've all had that oh crap moment on skateboards and off of skateboards. And the fact that you're still here walking, talking, living and breathing in it, and it's all a huge portion of it is based to your dedication off of skateboards, just speaks volumes about the industry and the passion that real riders have.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I don't want to get dark about it, but I was in a really bad place in my life when I found that skateboard, and it really did help bring me back. You know, I mean, everybody, no matter how much you have going, you might have kids and people that you love that you're holding on for, and but you're holding on and you're not necessarily really enjoying life the way that you could be. And everybody's got to have that thing, whether it's surfing or even if it's taking pictures or painting or whatever it is that you do. For me, it's always been getting on. I mean, it started with makeshift skateboards and just crazy stuff back in the day.
right.
And now we've got these incredible machines that I mean, they're machines. They're not toys anymore.
No, no. So speaking of the machine for a moment, and we'll get back to the depression, and we'll talk because we actually want to go deep into that. A lot of us deal with depression in this community, and how we deal with it through skateboards has really been a therapy. So we definitely want to talk on that. But just to go back to the machine for a moment, because we're really working with limited time today. So you were saying that the machine is awesome. Now, I know personally, before I ever stepped on a dragon, I was scared to touch 30. Just approaching 30 is like, okay, here we go. My shoulders would get all close to my ears, and I'm like, try and stay loose. Remember to stay loose. And it was such a process. Can you tell me a little bit of what it feels like to ride a dragon for the first time, and how it elevated or not, your own experience? How did it change, for better or worse, your ability to ride a skateboard? Because
Wow.
I tell everybody, this board will give you new limits that you didn't know you had. All your old limits get washed away, and you all of a sudden got some new limits because the ability and the agility and control. But I want to hear it from your mouth, someone who never rode one before and jumped on it for the first time, and I was having a damn hard ass time keeping up with you. So
Okay,
you
see,
you owe me
yes, it's Kyle.
you
Yeah,
owe
yes,
me
honey,
this
it's
right
Kyle.
now. You owe me
Yeah.
this right now because
Okay,
it's like
okay.
hard as
Look,
hell.
y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all this, right? Let me start with this, okay? When we got back from our first little, I don't know what it was. We didn't measure it or anything. Probably about 6 mile run, 8 mile run, something like that. Little short run. When we got back, the missus said Kyle looked like he was white as a ghost because he was having he was having issues with my lack of fear at that point. I've always held back right at that 33, 34. I'm a little bit wilder than you, I guess. 33, 34 has been kind of my max comfort range.
Mm.
Even though the boards are capable, the Ace switch obviously way capable of way more. But that's been my comfort range. And I instantly I got going down, and I'm running down this hill, and there's these sharp curves. Y'all will see the video when we get it all edited, but there's these sharp curves, and I dig in on my first real hairpin, and I wind up shooting across the yellow line rather than because I dug in so hard. I'm so used to it, and I wasn't looking
Into
back, but
oncoming traffic, folks.
yeah, you'll see. I
Cross the
swear, I
double
have the
yellow line.
video. I had to
Oh
like
wow,
jump
double
back
yellow, yeah.
across really fast. It was a little bit of a moment for me where I realized that, man, this thing, I don't need to like. I got all the way down and dug in hard, and I did not have to do that. Is the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
And then I straightened up. I
because the,
saw the
because the
car go
turn was a
by.
15-mile-an-hour turn off a cliff. Okay, we're riding
Uh,
along the
Cliff. Cliff
cliff.
is important information, yeah.
Yeah, we're riding
Yeah.
along a blind turn on a cliff, doing damn near 40 something miles an hour. You can't see what's coming around the turn, and so he goes to make the turn to adjust, and the board is so
Nimble.
nimble.
It's the only word there is for it.
The board is
It
so
just
nimble. When
it
he
does
went to
what you tell
turn,
it.
he turned.
Turn more than expected, yeah.
Yeah.
But still, you think when you think of nimble, you think of loose, right?
Mm.
You think of like a little rocker
Traditionally,
board,
Yeah.
yeah.
right? But no,
Even
like I
went
said
over the
earlier,
rumble strips.
I was able to go from a do full 90-degree foot position changes to stretch my legs because, like I said, I got bad legs, right? I was able to do full 90-degree foot position changes at 35 miles an hour. So
Yeah.
it's not loose. It's not loose at all.
No.
When I came out of that turn, I looked down. I was doing 34, okay, and I'm just cruising out of the turn. And I looked down and I'm doing 34, and I look back, and Kyle's just getting into the turn. And I'm like, I'm sorry, never. And I'm rolling, and he catches up, and and then I rocket, right? I take off. I'm on the mother dragon, whatever you want to call it, right? At this time, right? I'm not on the mini this day. And I take off like a rocket, and I'm thinking he's with me now, right? It's opened up. It's not sharp
Mm-hmm.
turns. It's just a little hilly. And I'm not looking at I'm looking where I'm going. I'm not paying attention to my speed here. And I'm thinking now I'm in the low 30s again. And then I look down and I'm doing 38, and it pops up to 39 as I'm looking down because I'm dropping down this straightaway. It was crazy. I mean, I've done 37 and 38 before, but it was tight, sketchy. Your whole
Yeah.
body's locked up. You are on edge and ready to tumble at any moment. Yeah. You're
It's
drawn
one of
up
those
and
moments.
you're in a ball almost already.
Yep.
No, it wasn't like that. You could stretch out at 40 comfortably.
You
Wave
feel
your
like you're
arms
taking your first
around.
flight
Get
on
your
an
get
air.
your vents going on your jacket. Let some air in and cool off. It was great. You can't
Yeah,
beat it.
Fab.
totally
I
feels
mean,
like a first class
Look
seat.
forward to seeing the edit on that. Sounds like
yeah,
quite a ride.
It
it's
was until we ran into the moose, the 8-foot moose.
elk.
Ooh.
They're elk. I didn't know the difference
Ah,
either,
yeah.
but yeah, they look a little bit more like a llama. But yeah, we almost like come around the corner and there they are in the road.
Two of them,
Yeah.
one sitting down and the other like 8 feet tall, and we're just
Goodness me.
flying
That's a
past it at
roadblock.
35 miles an hour.
Yeah,
It's
it-
always around the corner. We never know what's around the corner, do we?
that's
I
it.
came across only yesterday a very, very low recumbent bicycle on the path as I came round a bend. Luckily,
Oh
he had
no,
the flag up because the height I was looking, he was totally below my eye line, but he did have the flag. So yeah, be aware, I guess, guys.
Yeah.
absolutely. Oh, I tell the nephew that all the time. You know, always keep your eyes peeled. It's your responsibility to go home in one piece. I don't care if the other guy wasn't doing, if he was doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing.
Yeah,
If that
yeah,
car wasn't paying attention, he didn't use his blinker, he didn't look in his mirror. No, that's still on you. You got to watch those.
yeah.
You got to watch their brake lights. You may be on the sidewalk and you may be in your own little world with your music, and I'm notorious for that. I put my headphones in and I'm in my own world, but at the same time, every car, every obstacle, but if you're not on the right board, if you're on, and I'm not going to say any names, but I mean, if you're shopping on Amazon, you're rolling the dice with yourself. I'm going to say that about it. I learned that lesson the hard way, like six, seven Amazon-ish boards
Oh,
in. It's a great entry level. It's everybody's got to start somewhere and figure out if they want to really do this.
Yeah.
But it's not
I
it's
mean,
not going to be your lifer.
right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Not
It's
if you want
very
to
rare
ride
that
for life. If you want to keep falling down all the time
we don't want
because you
that.
hit a crack or because you
Yeah.
hit a wobble, go ahead, keep riding them. Keep beating your elbows up. You know,
Where you on protection? I guess your helmet and full geared up yourself, JJ. Does it depend on what you're riding?
I occasionally will ride with just a helmet, but generally I full gear. I like to knee pads, shin guards, elbows. I've got some soccer shin guards I'll put over my forearms sometimes when I'm
Yeah.
getting crazy. I mean, I don't, I want to go home in one piece.
Yeah.
Sure. So
Prefer full fame.
riding every day.
Prefer full face helmets always if you're going, especially if you're going to go over 25. I mean, if you're riding, like I said, if you're riding something small and slow and you're just into getting swervy on the beach, I do always wear gloves though. That's a personal choice. I don't like having my hands tore up. I mean, even the slightest
Yeah.
little scuff will, and I just don't like that. So
Oh,
I always wear
it
gloves.
sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gloves and a skate helmet at least, minimum.
Uh,
Just if I'm going swervy with my nephew or something at the lakefront. But
Yeah, I hear you.
speaking of that, real quick, tell me what was it like to go 45 miles per hour uphill on a dragon?
dude, that was intense. That was intense. I mean, to realize that I was doing over 40 on a hill uphill was crazy. Like it took me a few minutes, obviously to
Process.
get into plus mode. I started out in S. I'm not gonna say that I was scared. I was just trying to be smart, right? I was on the edge of
Yeah,
a
smart.
cliff. And but after about probably 2.5 miles, 2 miles in, I went ahead and kicked it into plus mode and started really goosing it up the hills and getting used to the feel of that serious torque that I've never felt before. And And then as you cut cresting the hills, then you start pushing your limits over and over again every time. And I'm like looking down as I level off and get ready because the hills would come with turns. And as I level off and back down and check behind me for Neva and try to look around the corner for Tom, who was usually gone, I would also check my speeds. And then I started hitting 41s, 42s, and then 43, 40. And it just, it was crazy. After we got done skating and geared down, loaded everything up, I got in the car with the missus, smoked a cigarette, went to the restaurant, went to the restroom, sat down. I think by the time I got my drink, my heart finally, I looked over and I said, she's laughing and nodding. Yeah, by the time I got my drink from the waitress was when I said, I think my heart rate finally slowed down.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like quite a time.
Yeah,
It was.
we're in Phoenix, going around curves. We're at the Grand Canyon, going around curves. There's a mile long drop,
Yeah,
and
the
Eight
canyon.
8 feet at times. I was as close as 8 feet from a
yeah,
mile long drop, doing 40 miles an hour.
45. And my
Yeah,
only thought is, where the hell is my parachute?
yeah. I mean, I'm thinking blowout on a tire. You know,
Yeah,
that
Ah,
basics.
I
we,
know. And I
we got the
look,
limb power tires, so they're good.
Okay, cool.
and brand new. They were super heavy duty. I did
Yeah,
inspect everything really well, as far as
Yeah,
the tires, the trucks. I went over it all and talked to Tom about it, and he explained to me how every adjustment worked and went into detail. And I was ready to go. I that wasn't a fear in my mind, and I've had it. I had one coming home from Bourbon Street I don't know, a couple weeks before I made that trip. I was out riding in the rain, and
yeah.
had one coming over some railroad tracks. So it's something that's always there in the back of my mind. But that day, I knew I was
Yeah,
ready. I mean, this
confident,
was
and it was all good. Got home
Grand
and
Prix
enjoyed it.
tunes. Yes, sir. Grand Prix tuned. I wouldn't do that on some old, old tires that got 1,000 miles on them or anything like that.
No, no.
For sure.
Yeah, that's smart. Smart, as you say, isn't it? Having fun, pushing the limits, and going home to talk about it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was an opening to a whole new level of all this for me. Now I see why these guys like to get those bigger, longer boards and run the tracks and
Yeah,
really push the limits. I'm looking into
can
that
you?
myself.
Yeah, and you're going to be receiving your dragon soon, as you said, and you're going to get to do more of this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, I can't wait to get it. Soon as I get it, I'm gonna go live rolling down Canal, bust a left on Bourbon Street, and just and then hit the riverfront on the way home. It's gonna be spectacular. I can't wait for it to arrive. Like I said, chomping at the
yeah.
bit. Every
It,
truck that pulls up.
it's really I can agree with that. My first time I rode the Dragon, I was in Vegas and it was on a racetrack and all. But when I finally got it back to my hometown and on my familiar roads, then
Yeah,
it's like, oh, I'm about to go to the next level. This is about to be something completely different because I have a strong fear for riding on roads that I'm not familiar with. You don't know the potholes, you don't know where the
yeah.
gravel is, you don't know when's the last time it rained, and
Mhm.
so I was a little cautious until we ran the roads more. Once I knew them, I would,
Yeah,
I'd have no problem. But the Grand Canyon is 2,000 miles round trip. There is
yeah.
no get familiar with the road. Everything was just
No,
new. Everything was just new. So it's like,
which
yeah,
which
I'm gonna have a little
which
caution.
which is, yeah, caution, as you say, and it is fun and exciting riding different places as well. On the other side,
Yes.
sometimes I can
Yes.
identify with both of what you were just saying then. But you get to know every pothole and the conditions local,
Well,
and then
Phoenix is
riding some.
incredible.
Hmm,
Phoenix is
yeah.
incredible. Phoenix, Arizona is incredible. I was out there for 5 days. We did 45s in the street all day, day and night. It was just incredible. I can't do that in my city. So
No, not here either.
Yeah,
Not even once.
yeah,
Got to
exactly.
Only
be
That's
certain
better up there.
sections.
right. And from what and that section is from one red light to the next, or that parking lot. It is not 16
Extended.
miles, 5
And,
miles, 20 miles.
and that's the kind of riding that's going to show up any issues with overheating and such like, isn't it? Pushing the machines for that length of time, you know?
Oh yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's getting tested properly then, isn't it, you know?
Yeah, totally. I mean, we hit 45. I hit 45 all day, every day. And it's so
Yeah.
funny. Like on the last day there, we were like, you know what? If we just take 4 boards with us instead of 2, we won't have to worry about being down for charging. We can just run,
Yeah.
20
Yeah,
miles
run one.
and go grab another board and run another 20, 25 miles or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
So we were like, duh, why didn't we think of this earlier? But regardless, I mean, especially after day one, which was with you, James. After that, man, everywhere we went in Arizona was just 45 miles per hour. I'm like, oh my God, like I'm not used to
Mm.
this. I've never gone 45 in my life. And now here I am doing it day and night for 5 days
Can
straight.
sit just on cruise control at that speed if the roads are big enough and open enough, you know?
Yeah, well, single lane. So we're passing cars. The speed limit is
Yeah.
15, 25, and
Oh,
we're
yeah.
passing cars at 45 miles an hour. Like, get out my way, you slow little vehicle. You're
Yeah.
you're you're inhibiting me from having a good time. So
Well,
Arizona
and
is so special.
one little blessing of my accident is that I'm retired. So unlike you guys, I don't have to go to work on Monday morning.
Right.
So if I'm a little beat up, so what? So that
Yeah.
gives me that freedom to go a little bit farther and push that
Yeah.
envelope a little bit more because my bills are going to be paid. I'm retired. My bills
That,
are going to
that,
be
that,
paid.
that's a
And
nice feeling, isn't it? I know what you're talking about.
no, not well. In that now it
In
is.
that
Now it
one
is. I hated
sense,
not
but
going to
things are
work.
get. Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
hated not going to work for a long time. And that was part of what put me in that depression, that state of mind. I'm an active guy. If I
The
wasn't
flip
working,
side, isn't it?
I was riding bikes or riding skateboards or scooters or taking my kids hiking. I was always doing something.
Active.
And being forced to just sit and do nothing for so long was just, it was miserable. And not knowing what I could even do, without really hurting myself, And of course, the first couple of falls were pretty scary. I was worried about the steel in my back and all this and that.
Yeah.
But I keep in mind, I mean, and although he was a lot younger when it happened to him, I think he was 14 or 15. Travis Pastrana, I've got 5 vertebrae fused. Everything that we have seen that man do, he started it at 14 years old. His first major accident, he got a quad fusion in his back when he was
Wow.
14, and he was back on the track in a
Yeah.
year.
Mm.
Yeah.
He was young.
Gives
He healed
everyone.
faster than I did.
Yeah.
But
Gives us all hope, isn't it? Suki just popped up the question, man, about 115 years. Have you had a chance to think about this? About the
Yeah.
book and such like.
So JJ, in 115 years, you can read it at the bottom. In the bottom.
I don't have my glasses. Will y'all
Okay,
feed it to
cool.
me?
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
I'm
if in
old.
115 years the world ends and they were to write a book about you, about your life, what would the title be, and what would be, the little blurb on the back? So give me the title of the book and what would the blurb be? 150 years from now, we're reading a book called JJ. He died from moose or elk at the Grand Canyon, and and what would the
Oh, that would have been a crazy way to go out. Talk
it
about
sure
epic.
would, bro.
I
That was the craziest. That was the
hey,
craziest.
thank goodness for breaks, right? For good breaks. Oh wow, what would my story be? Man, it would shoot. I'm not you. Blah 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 blah. Okay. It
It's a
would
tough
have to be
question, this
something
one, isn't
about
it?
a bouncing ball, the recovery of let me think.
The recovery of a human plinko chip.
Hey, well, yeah, the life of a human plinko chip, 'cause that's what my whole life has been. Never, I've told you some of my other stories.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been an insane ride. So absolutely, and to find myself to a peaceful life where I get to go every morning I want to. I can go skate up at the lakefront from my house. I've got my granddaughter at my house right now. You know, I mean, it's, and all of that was available to me. You know, even during those dark, really dark times, I just wasn't. I didn't find that one thing that helped me reconnect with myself, with that inner child. Um, so that's
Wouldn't
what would
say.
it be? The story? It would be the story of a man growing old and holding on to that inner child all the way.
Okay.
Sounds
You
good.
Nah,
know, that's how you bounce back. Kids recover. Old people, you know, if we set that in our minds that we're old and we can't do this and we can't do that, we're setting our own limitations.
For sure. Yeah. Can do.
all right, cool. Cool. I'll co-sign that if we got a couple of seconds left. Um, yeah, James, hearing your story, man, I'm telling you, every time you start talking, no matter if we're talking about the fall or if we're talking about, all the other private conversations we had, um, it just brings like a certain joy to my heart that you're still here through it all. Because any one of those falls, speaking of falls, any one of those falls could have ended your life. And the over the edge of the Grand Canyon. It's 1 mile. It's a 1 mile drop, which is about 8 city blocks. So I don't know if you're familiar with 8 city blocks. I don't know if you're familiar with
A
one.
mile. I can picture a mile. Yeah.
Yeah, but can you imagine falling a mile? I mean, you just fall and you just keep falling, and it's like, oh, there's a leg, there's an arm, like so. Um, that's
Everybody dreams of falling. I know what it feels like, and
yes,
uh,
yes,
it's
and that
worse than you dream it is. I promise you
exactly.
that. It's scarier than you think it is.
And you lived it and you're here, and I'm telling you, every time
Yeah.
we talk, every time I look at you, I just want to hug you. I'm so glad that I got a chance to touch you, hug you, share your passion for Eastgate, to hug your wife, the lady that loves you every day. We are Eastgate family. And so you're a beautiful testimony to everybody that has ever, gotten fallen down and gotten back on their board. It's
Yeah.
just
Well, thank you, and I'm grateful that it's brought like this. I mean, we were kind of cool talking online and everything. You and I, we kind of knew a little bit, and seeing each other around in the community. But once you get to meet people and skate with them and eat with them, and you know what I mean, it's
Yeah.
yeah,
For sure. It's
uh,
good. It brings
trees.
people together, doesn't it?
yeah. Now he knows all these other stories that these private stories that he's not gonna throw
Yeah,
out on the internet for everybody to hear. But
walk out on
y'all
the
come
edge of the
skate with us.
cliff.
I promise. I'll share the rest of the horror story.
Yeah, there are no guardrails at the Grand Canyon. There's like 0.0% guardrails at the Grand Canyon, and
Yeah,
I
no, my
walk.
camera was set knee high, and you can see off the cliff down into the Grand Canyon from my camera view.
Yeah, man. I can't wait to see
Bad.
your footage. I can't wait to see your footage. And
Yeah.
I got it. And I still haven't seen it yet. I've been working day and night.
I know. I flipped through some of it. What I've got, but I'm waiting on that full version. I accidentally left my SD card behind. We were so excited and talking, left it sitting on the kitchen counter, I guess. And but yeah, man, killer shots, dude. Oh man, when I get the full blown versions and because I've looked at it on the little.
Yeah.
It's really a true view of what we had there
Yeah.
that day.
That's
It
my new
doesn't
favorite place
quite
to
do the
drive.
feeling justice of that confidence level. And the funny thing is okay. You brought up the mile long drop. I can't even watch TV of like somebody climbing a tree, right? Because of my
That's
accident. Like
understandable, isn't it? Yeah.
I used to literally what drew me into the pile driving, which was my title. What drew me into it was the adrenaline of like climbing 200-foot crane booms on a daily basis, and the heavy lifts and the danger of it all. And and but really the heights, the grandeur of it all. And now, like, just watching the YouTube video of like I don't know if y'all have seen that guy that I call him Spider-Man. He does the little webs in the trees and stuff.
Okay.
It gives me literal pain in my insides, like,
Yeah.
and I feel like I'm gonna throw up when I try to watch him. I tried to watch one of his videos. I was showing the missus yesterday, I think, and I still have trouble watching it. I was so fired up that day on that board going so fast because we got to riding before I got to the cliff's edge, right?
Yeah. Saw the drop.
So before I got that fear going, that before I got my head in everything, I had my heart in the board and the motion, right? And I just didn't think about any of that, and I didn't even realize it until that night that's the first time that I've been able to like look off of anything big and not.
And
And
a mile is a high one to start with, isn't it? Fair play. I think you might be getting there.
Yeah, you're cured.
Yeah.
You're officially
yeah, right,
You have been
right.
healed.
All those trips to the shrink for nothing.
Right?
All those
All it
trips
took
to
was
the
one
shrink
trip to
for
the
nothing.
Grand
Put
Canyon.
it groundwork for the Grand Canyon and the Dragon, and I think
Yeah.
that's a good place to end the show. Thanks for both
Yeah.
coming on.
Thank you for having us, Silent Sookie.
Yeah.
Somewhere over there. James somewhere over there.
Bye,
And
Sucky.
Yeah.
JJ, I got it. I finally got it.
Yeah, you're up there. See, I
Oh,
got
look
it.
at you.
Come
Good
on
job.
now. And
First
I'm the one
time.
with the TBI.
All the best,
Thanks for
everyone.
having me,
Peace.
y'all.
So Cal,
Thanks
bring
for
the
Have
being
fun.
on.
Our home
Bye.
Hi,
is
Brad.
Bye, guys.